Sai Swamin Wahanse, dear venerables and friends, today we convene for the English Dhamma discussion. We read from our regular book, the Samyutta Nikaya. I will read the English translation and you will read Pali and Sinhala. Venerable Dhammakovida will read the Pali and Sinhala translations. Alright, so this is Samyutta Nikaya, translation by Bhikkhu Bodhi. Sagatawagga Samyutta, Devata Samyutta, Jaravaggo, and today we read Tatya Janati Sutta. But here it says Tatya Jana Sutta. Tatya Jana Sutta. Here it says that. Yeah. But Sinhala book says Tatya Janati Sutta. Okay, I will hand over to Dhammakovida to start.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Kinsu janeti purisang, kinsu tassa vidhavati, kinsu sansara mapadi, kinsu tassa parayananti. Tanha janeti purisang, chittamassa vidhavati, satto sansara mapadi, kamman tassa parayananti. කවරෙක් සත්වයා උපදවාද, ඔහුගේ කිමෙක් ඔබමොබ දිවේද, කවරෙක් සසරට පැමිණියේද, කිමෙක් ඔහුට පිහිටවේද. තෘෂ්ණාව සත්වයා උපදවයි, ඔහුගේ සිත ඔබමොබ දිවේ, සත්වයා සසරට පැමිණියේය, කර්මය ඔහුට පිහිටවේ.
The English translation for this title is produces or gives birth. What is it that produces a person? What does he have that runs around? What enters upon samsara? What determines his destiny? And the Buddha says, craving is what produces a person. His mind is what runs around. A being is what enters upon samsara. And karma determines his destiny.
Therefore, only one
sutta is very similar to the one from last week,
not related to the transcendental world, but on
sentences of each stanza.
Worldly affairs. But this thing is fairly tackled with the balanced mind. Tanna janeti puruso. The mind, the craving is the creation of the person. And that's what we have been taught in the classrooms. That everything is because of the gravitational attraction. So ultimately they got hold all the world. Big things are attracting the small things. That is what it happens. But after so many years only, they understood that gravitational theory is not valid to electrons and electronics. They are not subjected to gravity. But they also have strong bonds and the weaker bonds. And these two are called atomic powers. That's completely ignorant about gravitational force. But whenever these atoms agglomerated, when they collapse into matter, and when they get together, they subject to the gravity. So when you are disintegrating and going to the atom to the subatomic particles, and it loses the gravity. And there it becomes energy. So still that is not fully explaining what the Buddha is explaining. Buddha says that in the sensuous world, there's a kind of an attraction. But in the dhyana loka or in materialistic world, there's another attraction. And of course it is healthier and much better when compared to the worldly atmosphere, worldly attachment. So therefore Buddha says, at the cost of the worldly affairs, go to jhanic experience. They are also kind of a claiming, this is my jhana, I am the person got it, and all the kind of thing, you claim it. But when it is there, that very thing you taken as the focus, we call the object of meditation, also dissolving into the immaterial or subtle matters. And then your jhanic experience going to the worldly atmosphere, materialistic atmosphere, to the subtle matter atmosphere or no matter atmosphere. So that is, when it's happening, still there's a kind of an attraction. The other people are bogged down in the Kamaloka, I am not that. Other people are, at the cost of the Kamaloka, they are entertained in the Rupaloka, I am not that. I am Arupaloka. Like you develop your egotism, your attachment, that's called Nikanti. So likewise, you can replace the gross attachment to the others. So therefore, you become a being, you become a full-fledged being if you are with the full of attachments. That's what the world is. That's what the political, social, economical attachment, and we call social being kind of thing. But whenever you, at the cost of that, and renounce and come into the forest and or living in a meditative atmosphere and become a attachment to your primary object, that's almost matter. And then soon you achieved, you develop kind of a attachment or claim. That is my jhana, that is my object, and that is my sati kind of thing. But when it's going to the subtle matter, some people consider as a failure, but some people consider I am not a materialistic sphere, I am subtle matter sphere. Likewise, this attachment is reduced. That is accepted. Buddha accepted Kamaloka, Rupaloka, Arupaloka, and when we were young, we have been taught and given the sense that is not possible in this world. But now, after 40, 50 years, there are some people, proportion, that they accept we can replace Kamaloka temporarily and go to the Rupaloka, and then by replacing Rupaloka by Arupaloka, that changes can happen forward, backward. So likewise, your so-called being, an individual, an entity is losing the boundaries, again having the boundaries. Again losing boundaries, again having the boundaries. So it is a very good healthy progress for a person towards the transcendental part of the meditation. So what happens is your bondages are reducing or your attachments are reducing. But developing attachment and reducing attachment may or may not be due to effort. It can be sometimes naturally happening. So you have to observe from the distance how the attachment happening, how the attachment is disappearing, but don't claim it, instead disclaim it, disavow it, then it becomes spiritual. So that is how you have to understand the Purisa or an entity together with attachment. It's a universal theory.
Yes, Avnas, very good that you have touched on that point, because I recently just read the Sapurisa Sutta, where the Buddha says that a good person or a good meditator or yogi is one who, even though they attain supramundane qualities or states, they do not become conceited on account of that. They say, I am the one who has attained this jhana. I am the one who has reached the rupa or arupa loka spheres. He says, someone who does not conceive this thing about himself, that is the best person, the best man, the most spiritual person. That's the Sapurisa Sutta.
There are also two layers. Because at the beginning, if you have that view, you will never try for jhanic experience. No motivation. You will not have motivation to go to the immaterialistic sphere. Because you have to have, I am the person trying. I am the person renouncing. I am the person gain. So you have to understand at the beginning you have to have a self-centered motivation. But once you achieved, you have option. Either claim or disclaim. Everyone on the earth is to claim because it's a very difficult achievement. Buddha is the first person. He says you have a choice and try not to claim. Try disclaimer, disavow. But that is not human. That cannot be put under the subject of Buddhism. So that is the part we have already gone up to that much. And then how to disclaim. So this is given the classic example is Rajava Rattang Vijitam Pahaya. After fighting the whole effort, you win the country and you give up. After winning the whole island, the whole country, I mean deploying all the capacity and the armies and all the kind of strategies and kinds. After winning, after doing killing, ruining the place, he says, I don't like it.
So use conceit to get rid of conceit.
Yeah, there mistakes are there. You can't wage a war in a justifiable manner. After winning, he says, yes, because of the counteraction, I did it. I did vehemently. But after winning, I give up. So that human will not appreciate it. So that is what the most precious thing. Achieve it at the best, at the highest cost. And everyone can't achieve. You have to fight to the last minute to achieve it. After achieving, give up. That is the renouncing and no one can comprehend it. Because he was the tit-to-tat fight. But after achieving, you're giving it up. Many people have no chances like this till the death. They are still accruing, accumulating and achieving. Never know how to say enough. So, to say enough is Nibbana. That's enough. That's it. So I got a book, Enough. Still one book is on my table, How to Say Enough. It is not negation. It is not putting someone in trouble. Enough. But we think it is not manneric. When someone is offering, say enough. They think I am under obligation that if someone is suffering, I have to take it. I mean, that is the way at the immature level. But later, better than taking and ruining it, better say, please, enough. Because the hell of a cost to maintain that. But the thing you accepted. So there are a lot of stories and Jataka stories. He fight. After the fighting, he give up. And people say that person has no senses. He do not know how to entertain good things. He is a Gorakya. He has no senses. So that is what people are looking at us like animals. So they are asking me, what the hell made you to renounce? What kind of disappointments? What kind of lost? Nothing. Utterly successful life. No one knew even I have any idea of renouncing. After renouncing, I am much better. That's a secret. So therefore, fight it. Vehemently fight it. And after that, you can give up. So that's what we have done. So therefore, we have to appreciate it. We have to facilitate it. So for that, you have to understand everything is done due to the tanha. No one is better. Everyone is in the same boat. Tanha dutiyo puriso. Tanha is the partner. Wherever you go, gravity or electronic gravity, whatever it may be, then it's a science. But if it is just energy, thermal physics, very difficult to put into formulas. So therefore this is about the first part of the stanza. What's the second part?
Second part is, so the whole stanza, which is the response of the Buddha, is craving is what produces a man.
Yeah, that is
Tanha. His mind is what runs around.
So what the tanha creating is the mind. Mind is a monkey mind. Mad monkey mind. No discipline. And that itself is a achievement, it's a birth. Once a child birth, and a child is very robust and jumping up and down good, rather than a stillbirth, rather than a vegetable. So we think that boy is better than a girl. It's very jumping up and down. So that is what the parents are appreciating. Exactly us. Whenever the tanha happens, a mind arises. Soon it happens, it has its own jumping nature, jumping fish. And we appreciate it. And no discipline. Mind as such cannot be disciplined because mind is always associated with the proximate cause of sankhara. Sankhara pacchaya vijnana. Sankhara means kind of a mind-made thing. So therefore, mind won't get a natural food. It get only filtered food through sankhara. So sankhara is, mind is working according to the sankhara's agenda. So therefore mind cannot be morally responsible. No moral shame, no moral fear. But we try to behave like a moral person in the society, so the conflict. Conflict is not in the mind but with the sankhara. So therefore you have to understand, as far as there is a mind, contradiction is there. Mind itself is not discipline. That mind is something, discipline is something. Mind cannot be disciplined. When you are in a dream, you are not disciplined. That's the point you get relaxed. All the time you try to be disciplined, you are in a tension. Standing on ceremonies. That's why the Buddha says, go to the forest. Live under a tree. People consider you as aboriginal. You are not a civilized person. Buddha says, never mind. You can get the benefit then and there. So the second thing is the mind.
Third is a being. A being is the one who enters samsara.
So mind cannot run even if it is no pit, no center. It's creating a being with the help of Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara. Mind itself can't make a full-fledged being. So mind is agglomerating everything. When everything comes into the sum total, being happens. When they disintegrated, being cannot exist. Mind itself is not the being. It's a matter of super glue. Connecting Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara. And mind becomes the master. And then the cancer can develop. The ego can develop. The mind itself cannot. Mind is because of tanha. So these are some categorically discrete facts. So when we are in meditation, we have to see the relationship. When there is no tanha, meditation is boring. Very monotonous. You are trivial. I am inert. What the hell this meditation is? And then mind cannot exist. So mind creates some dramatic thing. Some kind of novelty. Some kind of creativity. Then we are very happy. I am a creative person. I have novelty and all the kind of thing. And then accordingly ego becomes very hard and fast. Whenever there is no whenever there is no interesting thing, mind also become lethargic and your egotism also ruining. And you feel like committing suicide. You feel like, what's the worst? What's the worth of this life? That is the way the mind and the self wish not to see the truth. But in our monk's life and the meditative life, we just let them face the same situation again and again. One day, you will look at it from the correct perspective.
And the last sentence is, karma determines his destiny. Karma.
Whatever the ego is doing willfully, go into karma, and that is making of future projections. Whatever you do without the volition and will, not creating karma. So you have to, in meditation, you have to understand what is happening and what is doing. Whatever you do, create karma. And it is a future projection. So therefore, if you wish to stop this vicious cycle, not only you are committing the bad karma in the present moment, but you have to understand the backlog you brought it. So you have to tackle both. Only two religions in the world accept karma. All the others say everything is done by God. So, but in Buddhism and in the Hinduism, accept good begets good and the bad begets bad. That's very, 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 very disturbing for the pleasure-seeking people. They have to think about whatever you do, you are committed. But if you are not believing that kind of karma and karma theory, you can maintain the theory of pleasure-seeking, pleasure principle. This is the world today we are living, we are now in. More than yesterday, today is yes. And what about then the young children? What they are, where we leading them? And what the method of education, what the method of justification in the present world? No hope. But at your individual level, you are completely liberated. You can have it. Then the karma become Dhamma. Karma vicious cycle will be taken over by Dhamma theory, and you can continue like that.
Swami Nohanse, this third line where this Buddha says, his mind is what runs around. There is a concept that I love to explore very much, the concept of Dhammayata. And this concept can find its parallels even in Zen Buddhism, where they say that there is actually no mind that is going out to get an object. This mind does not exist. It's an illusion, and that object itself is also an illusion. So in reality, ultimately, there is only the real nature of things, which is Nibbana. Nibbana is the only ultimate reality. So this thing, this movement of the mind, coming here, going there, perceiving, conceiving, it does not really exist. It's a concoction, an illusion, our own making. So I really have to delve into that subject. And the Buddha also says that for an arahant, they do not conceive a me, a seer or a seen, a hearer or something that is heard. There's all of that is not there. It's just one solid thing. Now I know now I'm not describing it properly because I'm actually trying to describe it, and it is undescribable. So can we speak a little bit about this Dhammayata, this no running of the mind, no movement of the mind?
So even the mind is illusion according to your wordings, and create illusions, and then we make stories, fabrications. And for the fabrication, most important thing is the difference between me and not me. What you see and the seer. So if both the minds, there is no limitation. There is no difference between me and not me. That loses the grip of the mind. So mind is always creating a boundary. This is in, this is out, this is good, this is bad, this is in, this is me, this is not me. No one on the earth challenges this. They always say, there's outside, there's inside, there's me, there's not me. And with that only all the world is created. But when you are meditating, the moment you lose the boundaries in your breath, boundaries in your walking meditation, boundaries in your body, if you are to consider what is in and what is out, you will become nauseatic. You will become vomitish. You will become bewildered, eccentric. And that is leading more towards the psychiatric situations. But understanding and going there as a healthy progress, you would have been enlightened in the last life also. It is not a joke. When it happens, you understand that you are mastering the mind, mastering the internal, external, good and the bad, me and not me, and then you will understand you are born enlightened. The meditation is doing nothing for that. So, looking at that mindset, that preparedness, very difficult to teach. Very difficult to have a hope. More you understand, you will be kicked out from the society. You don't belong to this mad world. So therefore you must not violate the mad world. They have in and out. They have good and the bad. They have gross and subtle. So you have to just use the baby's language and then be with them. Don't argue with them. But the mind's game is always as far as me and not me is there. We can't, otherwise we have no motivation. We are motivated because I accept self, me, and I reject, so I accept not me. So understanding not me is not sensuous experience. That's an intellectual experience, inferential. But is not me, irrelevant. Not creating suffering, not necessary to meditate. So at a time when you are, whatever you have taken as yourself or in me, always very minute area. From that only samsara is happening. By accepting me, you are rejecting so much of things that you are not aware of it. If you aware it in the inferential knowledge, more you attach to the present moment, it is tiny little thing. With the help of that, you can forgive and forget the rest of the world. So much so you are enlightened. So therefore this itself is been explained specifically in the canonical Tipitaka, but never interpreted, never taken into the society. Don't worry. It doesn't matter for you to understand. You have to understand what am I, who am I, where am I. What are the limits? No boundaries. The first time I read the Ken Wilber's book, No Boundaries, well explained. Then only he coined the term choiceless awareness as a synonym to the mindfulness. So they are very popular ideas at that time in Nilambe. Everyone is being shared with the choiceless awareness. And then in and me and not me, good and the bad, you and me, no, everyone is the just energies. So that is well explained in Sutta Nipata. And that is the part mainly expanded into Mahayana tradition, in Zen tradition. All the sources are in Thero are the Tipitaka. But now they are becoming fairly popular when compared with the 30-40 years ago.
Samina says sometimes a yogi might reach this state of lack of craving, tanha. Like you said, everything becomes monotonous and boring. Is it possible that this yogi might be in that state for even years and years before they, before something happens, so to speak? Is it possible that this might go on for even 10 years and the yogi might just choose to continue with that path because he has been advised?
Not by yogi himself. Has to always has to have association with true people.
Yeah, yes.
That is the decisive factor, single. Kalyana mittata.
I was just going to ask that also. I think if they are dependent on a teacher or someone who is more experienced, then that way they can be motivated to just keep letting it be, letting it happen again and again and again. And after some time, one day, they will just see through it. They will
till that
he
look at the Kalyana Mitra or the true friend or the noble friend, and he shows no meaning in this life. Just be in the present moment. You have to understand you got Kalyana Mitra. Otherwise you are at lost. Then Kalyana Mitra is for that creating the stories, tactics, and keep the person busy. But the duties and apostles, aphorisms, and giving him some kind of food for thoughts. The himself cannot. Only it was possible for Siddhartha Gautama before becoming a Buddha. He had this King Kusala Gavesi searching about. No, after that, no one. It's a very, very rare. Siddhartha's brain, special kind of. For him, yes. Now, no one can. Depending on the Kalyana Mittata, 100%.
I think that is just very beautiful. It just shows how special a Buddha is that he's able to do it on his own.
It's so boring, so interesting, so boring, so dramatic. The moment you put into the correct perspective, very beautiful, very aesthetic, very dramatic. But if you are boring and monotonous and lethargic, you will commit suicide. No, it is not a big problem. So enlightenment and the committing suicide is very close friends, twins, from the same brooding, same broth. So we are going to end up the session. If anyone is willing to take chance, we are cordially invited.
Asrai Bante?
Yeah.
Vimal is here to talk, Bante.
Yes.
Yeah, Asrai Bante, actually thanks for the opportunity. Kamma and Dhamma, I heard that two wording, so I would like to express yesterday one incident happened. I have to go to meet a person with appointment. So day before yesterday I will come at morning. So when I go there, he was not there. So when I called him, he told come in the afternoon. So I went afternoon. Luckily I got met him. So this incident, when I compare this Kamma and Dhamma, so we have to do something, but it is not exactly as we expected. Something happened, but we want to try something. That is what, I want to express what I get this Kamma and Dhamma. Much merit for the time.
Yeah, if you are going to meet a pen friend in an appointed place, and he will say, I am wearing a yellow shirt, and I will come with a handkerchief, and I will come to the particular place. You also come, and I would say, I am coming with a white shirt, and the long sleeves, and slippers and all the kind of thing. And we go to the appointed place and appointed time, but the person is not there. So then, if the person is there, your appointment is okay. But now you have a disappointment. But you can't give up. Because that particular person would have got a traffic jam or something like that. So you are waiting in the place, because you have to show off your white shirt. You have to show off your trousers and slippers. But otherwise, if he can't detect you. So at that time, the disappointment make you more alert. So that is how in meditation also, when you are mindful, it's okay. The appointed person is there. But the appointed person is not there. Then you know you are unmindful. And knowing that is double fold energy. You have to be there. Because mindfulness may come at any time. When it is coming, if you are not there, pen file can't understand. So therefore your being there, that's been there, being, how do you call, just being. Or be prepared. Anytime that can happen. I don't know who he is. In the Vimal's case, he knows the person. But if it is not there, that is what happens. So therefore, our life is full of that kind of situation. Either Dhamma or Kamma. It's going to work. Whenever the Dhamma works, when there is no volition, when there is no choice, when there is no Chetana, then the Dhamma work. Whenever the Chetana happens, Chetana becomes Kamma. It's become Kamma. So how do you do? How do you go there, knowing that he may not come, no harm? So daily I have so much of appointments and so much of disappointments. So I hate appointments. But then I am free. But the people coming, you have to just talk with the meditation retreat organizers. They are calling them after applying, and everyone has to talk little bit. Maybe 100 people. And after that they explaining, they can't come. Explain it 10 minutes. Because of that, because of this and all the kind of thing. And this organizers FaceTime in the phone at lost. And so much of people explain, I am thank you very much, taking so painful, and you have organized everything, and I am sorry that till the evening yesterday, I was about to come, you see, unforeseen situation happened. So I am not going to listen to these stories. I just ask the organizer to do it, and I find fault with organizers. And this is how our parents raised us. That's how our teachers raised us. Because so much of disappointment. But Dhamma is working. So I read the first article in the library, Peradiniya. Have an appointment with a disappointment. It was so striking. Have an appointment with the disappointment. Everything you are going to do will be a disappointment. After all, meeting, but different significance, no use. But the person, if he is not coming, you have so much of negative feelings. And after meeting, then what? Finished. So appointments are exactly disappointments. So this is what happens in the love affairs and the international business, diplomacy, just appointments. And today's government office, so much of meetings, useless. Very hardly any substantial things, just formal meetings. So I like private sector, and we sit if it is gainful, not otherwise. But in meditation, everything is useless. So Carl Sagan, he has written a book, Don't Sit the Small Stuff. And within small letters he says everything after all small stuff. Why worry? And now I am reading the same person. He says, stop thinking, start living. All thinking are appointments. So therefore all the thinkings are karma. But knowing that you are thinking is not karma. It is Dhamma.
I'll try to answer. Just on the topic of the mind creating the distinction between in and out and like the seen and seer. Something that I have observed through my meditation practice was when I first started in the very beginning, it was just at the level of thought that the separation was happening. Like I'm sitting here and I'm seeing something or I'm hearing something. So it was just thoughts. But over time, I noticed that this separation happens at a more subtle level of energy, because sometimes the separation is not felt by thought, but like when I'm sitting here listening to Bhante talk about the discussion, sometimes I feel like the separation is just happening internally without the thought. Like there is the feeling of me sitting here listening to you, Bhante. So there is that separation, but it's not at the thought level, but I feel like it goes down into much more deeper levels of feelings and energy. And sometimes I feel like it's harder to notice these subtle levels of separation than the most obvious level of thoughts, Swamin Wansa.
So everything starts with that kind of a mental situation. Mano pubbangama dhamma. That's what in the Dhammapada. Mano setta. Mind is the most important. Mano maya. It's mind made. But world, the physics or the communist people, they never expect. They think world is the matter. Develop the matter, then luxury. But Buddha says, no, it's a mind made. Even the matter is mind made. Your words also mind made. Your physical action also mind made. But during the time of the Buddha, the Mahavira was there. He was telling Kaya Danda, Vachi Danda, Mano Danda. And he says Kaya Danda is most important. The physical. And then words. And then the mind is least significant. The Buddha also presented the same thing. Kaya Kamma, Vachi Kamma, Mano Kamma. He says Mano Kamma is the most important. So this is how, even if you are put analytically and put into different bags and kind of thing, how do you prioritize? The younger generation, they are always depending on their physical features. They don't accept the culturing of the mind, how to culture the mind. But the elderly people, they become very weak, they have do nothing they can do. So they now going to appreciate mind is important, but it's too late. So that is how you have to put forward this correct view. Mano pubbangama dhamma. And the most important thing is manomaya. Everything is mind made. Now quantum physics is about to understand the Schrodinger energy wave will not collapse into matter unless otherwise you interact with your consciousness. By consciousness interaction, the matter, energy become matter. Otherwise, energy become energy. Our Loku Swamin Wahanse is writing in the Samatha Vidassana Bhavana Marge how to create matter out of immaterial, how to create immateriality from the matter. Adravyan dravyam evima saha dravyan adravyan evima appear like mystics, not physics. So therefore we are in a crossroads in the present era. So therefore we have to experiment it with long time against the grain. Then only what you see that you are. If you think and hold your health healed by your placebo effect, not by medicine. That's accepted now. Placebo, if you wish to become healed, you will be healed. Whatever the medicine, everything, if you hate yourself, you will ruin yourself. So you have to give chances for the hate also. And still you have to understand, whenever the recovery happens, it is nothing but your mind. So that is why the Buddha is called Satahata Vena Bhava Dukata Vedanan. He is the common healer for these worldly beings. But they think no, we have to have a family doctor, we have to have a specialist, we have to go here and there and all that kind of thing. At last we go to the Buddha. And then at last only we think, I have some kind of healing power. No, you are the only healing power. Every doctors, they are aware of it. So we have to appreciate it, but your mind must be healthy to accept this perspective as well as to be a healing power. So internal, external, me and not me difference, people never consider as a crime. It's a norm. But that's the most root cause, self-centeredness. I am, superiority and or inferiority, making so much of psychiatric problems. Okay, now it is time to stop.
අවසරයි ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ වාර්තාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරන්න අසීය කියන්නේ නිවන නේද ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ
මොකද සතිය කියන්නේ
අසීය
කියන්නකො සම්පූර්ණයෙන්
අසීය කියන්නේම නිවන නේද ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ අපි මේ සිහිය පුරුදු කරන එකෙන් කරන්නේ අසීය දිනු කිරීමක් කියලා තමා දැනෙන්නේ හුස්ම දැනෙද්දී වෙන දෙයකට අවධානය දෙන්න බෑ එහෙම උත්සාහ කරලා බැලුවත් ඒක දැනෙන්නේ හුස්ම එක මොහොතක අවධානය දෙන අනිත් දෙය තවත් මොහොතක ඒ දේවල් දෙක එකවර දැනීමක් නෑ අසීය වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන බවක් තේරෙනවා ඒ අසීය වැඩි වීම තුල නිදහසක් තියෙනවා.
So he says that unmindfulness is nibbana. So that is what we have to promote. Whenever we are developing mindfulness, there are some unmindful situation can happen. Unmindfulness and mindfulness cannot have in the same mindset. It's happening in different thought moments. So therefore, if you accept or whatever it may be, unmindfulness, it's full of relaxation. So who the hell going to object it? මේකම කරලා බලන්න. සත්‍යමත් වෙච්ච කෙනාට විතරයි අසතිය තියෙන්නේ. සත්‍යමත් වෙච්ච නම සතියක් නැහැ අසතියක් නැහැ. කසාද බඳු කාර්ය විදිහට දික්කසාදේ තියෙන්නේ. කසාද බඳින්න පුළුවන් දික්කසාද නැහැනේ. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ තමයි මේ සතිය දීලා බලන්න ඕනේ. දුන්නාට පස්සේ තමයි අසතිය තේරුම් ගන්නෙ. ඒක අපේ ස්වභාවය. ඒක පිළිගත්ත දවසට චෝදනා කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ නේ කිබේම වෙන එකක් නේ. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා පුළුවන් තරම් මේ අදහසින් පුළුවන් තරම් සතුටුමත් වෙන්න බලන්න. එතකොට ඒ තරමටම අසත්‍යමත් බව අසීය තේරෙන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. ඒකට වෛර කරන්න එපා. ඒකට ওই තියෙන විදිහේ මිත්‍රත්වයේ යාළුකම තියාන දිගට කරලා බලන එකයි තියෙන්නේ. මේ සමාජයේ ඉන්න එපා. සමාජයේ ඉන්නකොට සමාජයේ කියන දේ අහන්න ඕනේ. මේ වගේ තැනක ඉන්නකොට අපිට ඕනේ අදහසක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරලා බලන්න පුළුවන්. try කරලා බලමු. try and see.
ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ මේ දැන් ඔය සිහිය කියන්නේ ඔය අසීය කියන තැනදී මේ දැන් අර සිහිය පුරුදු කිරීමෙන් අපි අසීය ලබාගෙන තියෙන්නේ. අර ඒක දැනගන්න.
නැති කෙනාට අසීය නෑ. භාවනා කරන නැති කෙනාට හුස්මක්වත් ගන්න බව දන්නේ නැහැ. හුස්මක් තියෙන බවවත් දන්නේ නැහැ.
ඒකෙදී ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ මම දකිනවා මේ වැඩේ අර කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ අර කරාට අර නිකන් අර වෙනවට ඒ කියන්නේ කරනවා. හැබැයි මේ වැඩේ අර හරි සාර්ථකව කරනවා අර
හොල්මනක් වැඩ කරන්නේ හොල්මනක්. අපි ඒක දැනගෙන කරනවා නම් වැරදුනත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ, හරි ගියත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. එතකොට අපි ආරම්භක ශේෂයේදී මේක වේවා නොවේවා කියලා දැඩි ප්‍රාර්ථනා නැහැනේ. ඉතින් ඒකට වැරදුනත් හොඳයි, හරි ගියත් හොඳයි.
මේකෙදී අර දෙයක්කට අර වටිනාකමක් දෙනවා කියන එක
වටිනාකමක් තියෙන හැම දෙයක්ම සංසාරේ.
අර වටිනාකම දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
හොඳයි. අපිට ගෙඩිය ගහන නිසා අපි මෙතනින් සමාප්ත කරනවා. I will ask කල්වාමතුරුට
Swamin Wanse, dear venerables and friends, having discussed and shared and listened to the Dhamma, whatever merits we may have accrued, we would like to extend them to our teachers, our parents, our relatives, all beings, large or small, gross or subtle, near or far, visible and invisible. May all deities protect the Dhamma exposition and the Buddha's dispensation for a long time. And may the seeds of Dhamma we have received grow, producing path, fruition, and Nibbana. I invite everyone to join in the recitation of the traditional Pali verses for the sharing of merits.